What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. The video you're about to watch is about the motor that was donated to the channel, and it was a chance for me to show you how you take a motor that you have and make power for complete free. And that's what you're about to watch. I hope you enjoy it. We don't get completely into the power in this video because it was getting really long. So I believe it's going to be in the next one, the actual powers it's making. But no matter what, I show you how to get to that point for free. So that's huge. I hope you guys enjoy the video. But even more important than that, guys, I wanted to say a true, sincere thank you, big time, for helping out with the GoFundMe. We're not at the goal yet, but we got a lot closer after the last video, and that means a lot to me. Sincerely, for me to you, thank you. There was a bunch of people donated. Some of them did it anonymously, so I don't want to put names out there because I don't want to screw up, because I see everybody's actual name, but they list it as anonymous. So big thank you to the other YouTubers that did it. Thank you, for real. You all know who you are, and thank you so much for that. That's huge. If anyone does want to donate, by all means, the link for the GoFundMe is down in the description. Basically, just trying to get back on track with being able to edit properly and what have you, and everything else going on involved with that. This phone does obviously let me do it because you're seeing a video last, and this one that I'm making now, it just doesn't let me do it at the same level. Not that my level was that high to begin with, but it definitely brought me down a lot from where I was. So it is what it is. I'm still happy I'm able to do it, and no matter what, going to continue doing it. We haven't been able to get back to any of the bicycle stuff myself because I've been so busy with family stuff, but that stuff just settled down and we're getting back to just basic normal stuff, so I can get back to finishing up this 50cc. As you know, I started doing some craziness to it. I put a pop-up in it. 50cc's do not come with squish bands, but this one, if you can see it, I'm not sure if you can there, this one kind of has a squish band, so I don't really know how that happened because they don't come like that from the factory, and I don't have any machines here. I have no CNCs, so whatever happened must have happened by hand or little elves at night while I was sleeping. I don't know, we'll see, but you'll have to watch and find out in the next third, fourth, later over there. So let's get back at it. Let's keep chugging along because I really want to get to these chainsaw motors and build them because I'm super excited about that. But this is kind of like a tester for that, to let me know what I am able to do. And pretty much I do anything I put my mind to is what it seems is capable. Same for you. So hope you guys enjoy the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please drop me a line down in the comments. I'll see you there. Peace. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in, as always.
1, 2, 3, yeah! Baby. Sassy.
Oh my gosh!
Man, I'm pretty.
I'm really excited about it.
Do the motor with me. Come on. Hey there, baby. Ooh, ah.
You need a chain on one of these things to make it work, guys.
Whoopsie!
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'm slightly amped about today, so I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit the like button. I'm gonna need you to hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification. I also would like for you to type me a message in the comments. The most important part about all of this is leaving me a comment. None of this is possible without you guys watching. You could please drop me a line, please. I enjoy that. Speaking of getting dropped a line, go over to Johnny's Motorized Bicycles on Facebook. Almost, probably 95% of you have a Facebook account. Go over there, join the group, friend me, message me on Messenger, say what's up. I enjoy talking to you guys. All of you, Kenyon, Presley, Brian, Josh, like, there's so many people. And tons more I'm not even mentioning, but there's at least 4 or 5 of you I talk constantly. So I enjoy that. So please. And If you need a link to it, there's a link to everything down in the description as always. Well, not as always, but trying to remember TikTok, Venmo, the address, and email address. All in the description. So hop on over to the description and just click the link so you can do whatever you need to do. Good. Now, today, what we're going to do, the last thing I had on the table was my 50cc. Kind of a bust. Kind of knew it was going to be, but, you know, nostalgic reasons. So I have something else in the works, but I want to put a motor back on that mule. Not for anything else, I want to put one on there temporarily, just so I have a backup bicycle, just in case. So that brings me back to this. This is the port motor, the one I do want to do the porting series on. Basically, I'm just going to do 2 steps to it. One, I want to do where you put a spacer in to raise the cylinder to get the port timings you want. Now you'll also have to cut the top of your cylinder, which I'm not going to do to this one because I want to see how it is, and then I'll probably go in and do the same port numbers, but without the cylinder. Because if I cut the cylinder, then I can't do the ports, because then I need to have the spacer on there. I might just be able to get another cylinder all together, but we'll see. This is an original. This is an 80cc motor from Zeda Motorsports company down in Florida before they went belly up or whatever happened to Rob and all. This was donated to the channel by Mark. All I did, this was in pieces when I got it. The cylinder wasn't connected, the head wasn't on, the exhaust, nothing was really on. It was just the case with the piston sticking out, I believe. It wasn't put together, but all the pieces were here and it was brand new. Thank you, Mark. You know, so I bolted it all together and I put it on the bike. Basically, I put it on the bike as if it was one of you guys out there that just got this new 80cc motor, super excited about it, and tossed it on your bicycle and don't know nothing about it like I didn't know. We're going to take this apart, but we're going to take the exhaust off, the intake off, and the spark plug off, and we're going to get the timing wheel set on it. We're going to find out what the stock timing marks are. This is also going to be the first time we open this motor up since it was new. There was never a motor that I took more care in breaking in than this one. I rode it easier than any other motor I've ever had. If there's a motor that's going to look good on the inside, it's got to be this one. I've never cracked it open. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I've never taken it so easy on a motor in my life. Ever. So, we're going to crack it open for the first time together. We're going to see what it looks like, see if the piston's clean, no blow-by, and all that stuff. Because everyone says there's blow-by in the motor because of the way I rev them and I get on it. Da, da, da. If this thing looks like my everyday motor, then I'm going to say right here and now that the whole braking procedure is kind of baloney, and the motors are just, you just get a good one or a bad one. Because I took it easy and I took great care in this thing in breaking it in. Hopefully I am 100% wrong, because that's what I'm really hoping for, is I want it to be super nice on the inside. I just wiped it and then I figured, let me turn you back on real quick. So this motor, never took it apart. All I did was tighten the bolts up basically as if it came out of the box, and you can see there's grease here. I just wiped this here. There was a lot of grease, like it looked like this all here. So I'm thinking there's a leak somewhere in here. There's a definite small leak coming out the head gasket, maybe right in the front, small, and there's definitely a leak at the exhaust pipe here. And then I greased everything up, you know, basics grease. So there's going to be a little bit of a mess in that regard, but for the most part, you know, it's just dirty. We had, I don't know how many miles we put on it. I rode it to break it in. She rode it a little bit also before she got her bike back. There's a few hundred miles, maybe 1,000 miles was put on it. You know, not a lot. Maybe that is a lot. I don't know. 1,000 miles isn't a lot to me. This is the spark plug. You can see the chocolate, which is good, but you see how up the ring it goes black, around the edge black. It's a little too rich. It's not horrible, and the bike didn't run bad. The motor ran good, but it is rich. So I took the magneto out. Nice and dry in there for the most part. There is some grease. Where it came from, I don't know. It might just be the rubber getting rubbed off on the magnet. That's as far as I got so far, but I'll tell you right now, I can see into the exhaust port, and I 100% can see blow-by. I took it easy on this thing. I didn't rip this thing at all. I'm being straight up with you. I wanted this to be as close to one of you guys running it as possible with taking it easy on her and breaking her in right. The right oil mix, all that crap. I did all of that nonsense. And I'm going to say nonsense because it looks no different than the motor that I took and got on and ripped the very first time and literally seized it up in the first 5 minutes, seized it up another 5 minutes later, not even 2 minutes later, and then let it run around cool for a little bit. This looks no different than that the first time I cracked it open, so all I can say is I don't believe it. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe it. I'm saying I don't believe it. I seen Kevin with his. He runs non-ethanol, super high-end fuel. I don't have the money for that. I think that might be a big part on why his is so clean looking. He also never gets on it as far as I could tell. I don't know though, 100%. I mean, from his videos, you never see him really on it, ripping it at full throttle. I think he full throttles it to get up to a speed he wants, but I don't think he ever sits there and winds the engine out. Now this one, I only wound it out 1-2 times, I think. You know, probably when she was doing the test runs was the only time I ever really opened it up. I think one time on camera I said, okay, it's broken, and we ran 3 tanks through it. And I got on it for 30-40 seconds. Like, not even, I don't think it was 30. It's on the video. So, and that was after it was 100% broken in, and you're supposed to be able to, you know, hit these things after they're broken in. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I kind of wish I would have opened it up after I thought it was broken in, when I was still completely babying it. And I always babied this thing, but I mean, there was a point when I was really babying it, and I don't know, it's still got like that. So whatever, it is what it is, you know. I'm getting set up to put the degree wheel. There was also, I took the keyway out. There was also a lot of play in this, so I could technically advance or retard the timing, but that's for another day and another fun story. Let me get her in there and get my positive stop going. And by positive stop, I mean jam a wrench into the exhaust port. It's down, so it's at bottom dead center. And a screwdriver. Perfect. It's at bottom dead, so we will put it so that it's at bottom dead over there. That's it. Now to check squish. Let's get a bigger piece to check the squish with, because that doesn't seem correct to me. Okay, that's what the squish looks like, if I can hold it straight. I'm guessing that's 1 or more. Yeah. Almost 2. So the squish is wrong to begin with. So that's kind of a good thing, because no matter what, we got to deck the cylinder. And anyway, let's get this top off and let's start figuring out what exactly we got to do. We don't get many motors in here that got heads, do we? Well, the last YD did. After a bunch of work. It wasn't even that much work, to be honest. See where I put the squish? One was a little far back, probably the first one, and that was the second one. A lot of carbon in there. No carbon right there, really, where the transfer would be. Oh yeah. Come here, guys, look. I can already tell you from just looking at, knowing the motors a little bit. Look how much lip. See how much lip is here? Yeah, that's top dead. Look, there is a lip all the way around. And that's where I hit the squish, right up against it. So it was a good squish. But honestly, all that needs to go. And by the looks of it, this is the weakest spot. It had sealing. So right there, just checking your squish and fixing that. If I was to deck this and deck this and bring the squish down, we would have higher compression and a better running engine right there alone. The record, let me show you. Exhaust port. See the piston? Almost completely open. The transfers are almost completely open. I think this is a G5. This, I'm not going to put a spacer on. We're going to nitz that one right in the butt. I think the G4 cylinder is the only one that's going to benefit from a cylinder, a spacer. This is not going to benefit from a spacer. I'm going to get the degrees But I guarantee the degrees are probably pretty decent on this, and I bet what will help this is just opening up this exhaust and cleaning up the ports. And that's probably what we're going to do. Because I think this is a G5, and decking it. Decking it is going to make a night and day difference, so we're going to have some fun in a little bit. Got the cylinder off now, and this is the first time I ever looked at the cylinder. Now there's exhaust gasket remaining, and there's base gasket remaining. Now I'm going to deck the case, which should bring it down the minutest amount. I'm not going crazy. I'm not doing no craziness, just something that you guys at home would do. So I'm putting a gasket back on because 99% of people are going to put a gasket back on and they're not going to do machine surface to machine surface. So that out of the way, the numbers I'm coming up with to get the ports where I think they should be on this cylinder, because this is different than a G4 for sure. Just the shape alone is different. It is a very nicely made cylinder though. I think it's a G5. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I honestly really like the ports on this already, but the issue I have with the ports is I'm thinking 8 degrees is the number I'm going to want to bring everything and change it all. The transfers are already 129 degrees. I'm not changing them at all. All I will do with them is, I hope you can see it down in there, there is a huge, huge lip that's from the casting, both sides. So when I measured off this line here. See that? That's where I measured my degrees. In reality, with this lip, it's probably really close to 120 because this lip is huge, and on this side it's even worse. But because I measured off of here, and 129 is actually a good number for transfers, I'm going to try to bring the edge smooth, basically take that edge out, make it so it fully opens up on this side all the way to this edge. So that will still keep a 129 transfers, not changing that at all. The intake, I'm thinking dropping it 8 degrees. Now, I will get that by lowering the intake port and skirting the piston. This piston is not skirted. So by lowering this probably 3 to 4 degrees on the actual port and then widening it all together and then skirting the piston, I should get the number 7 or 8 somewhere in there. I don't want to go nuts. Something you guys could do at home. Now, the exhaust, I'm also thinking 8 degrees on that, 8 degrees up. That is approximately 3 millimeters of port. Now, it's hard to see. I'm hoping you guys can see it. The port goes from, it's tapered from here and it goes down. So the port is much lower here. See how much screwdriver sticking out? Like how it's not, that's, see it's up. The screwdriver's going up. That's about straight on the port. So again, making the port almost straight from here in would be about 2 to 3 millimeters, which comes out to about 8 to 9 on the exhaust. So to get what I want out of the exhaust, I'm going to go 8 to 9. I'm probably going to stay on the lower side, like, 7 to 8, to be honest with you. But I am going to widen it, not touching the bottom, of course, and I'm going to give it a good little roof angle. Now, it is dead center. I'm thinking about is, because the exhaust comes out and shoots left, I'm thinking I should take a little more out of the left side so that it shoots out. So in other words, on the port, I would only clean out, say, 1 millimeter on this side and 2 millimeters on this side so that it's straight out. I don't want to come out this side more. I want it to be more on this side so it just has an easier flow out. So the top ring doesn't go any higher than this line here. And this line, the piston, the sealing of the piston doesn't go any higher than that. So no matter what, all that brown has got to come out. We got to deck it that much, and to get the deck like that, or get the squish right, I think I'm just going to take it out of this. I'm going to deck the head also, just to make sure it's a nice machine finish, but I'm going to basically take it out of this, because if you look right here, it's hard to see, but this is actually tapered down. So I'm going to deck this and get this flat, because this is definitely not flat. And I have a feeling that this little G5 is going to sing. I've never had a G5 cylinder before. I'm pretty sure this is a G5. I think that's what they call them. I've never had one before, but I have heard good things. Kevin was just talking about one, And I heard the Zedas used to be able to get a lot of power out of them. And honestly, I just like the way the whole ports are set up. I like it a little more than a G4s from what I see. But we'll get it all open up and flowing way better. And that's what I'm going to be working on. My goals, I'm hoping to bring it down to, on the exhaust, have it open at like 96, 95 area, which should get this to around 170-ish on the duration for the exhaust. The transfers will stay at 130, and I'm hoping that the intake I can get it up to about 128 to 131 in that area. That would then give my blowdown around 20, would give it around 22 degrees of blowdown. It should be a screamer, a little monster. So I got 2 bits out. I don't have my favorite bit because the end broke off on me. I like the drum the most, but this one here is amazing for cleaning out the transfers on those edges. But I am going to tape the heck out of the walls of the cylinder so that in case, because it's notorious when you're doing the transfer part, it catches the edge and then skirts and it goes across the cylinder inside, and it is notorious for doing that. I'm notorious for doing that and it happening, so I'm going to do my best to tape the snot out of it so that that does not happen. I'm trying to show you. Hear that? That's the big lip inside the transfer. This side is done. Straight out. No lip. Back here where the transition for the roof angle is, no change. Only cleaned out where that big lip is, and then I took it just before the edge of where I measured at the 129. Guys, real quick, look at the oiling holes. That's stock size. So the ones on this piston that came on this piston are already larger. So I'm not going to drill them out. So that's just something to note, that the holes are already larger. You're not going to be able to see. Here's a brand new YD100. Thank you, Gary. I think he was trying to get me a 49mm piston, but I sent a 50mm, but I can always use another YD100 piston. But see how small the holes are? That's normal in comparison. And I did not drill these out yet. Just found that a little bit interesting and thought you might also. Everything is done with the cylinder except for the piston itself. I need to cut the ears off the circ clips, and since I'm doing that on this side of the piston, I will put a slight relief on both sides so I can scoop out the circ clips when time comes. And the piston itself is not skirted, but it's literally only a tiny little bit that gets done, so I'm going to do that also. Look at this. Definite blow by going on up there. I'm going to clean all that out, but I mean, I'll be honest. It's not into the second ring, but it's all the way down the first ring. And it's obviously past sides, more on this side than the other side. Carbon's a little heavier, but the one transfer was definitely clogged more than the other one, so I can't wait to get this back on, to be honest with you. I really think this is going to be a little ripper. Alright guys, so we are done. It is now 9:53 p.m. I started doing this around something earlier, pretty much that time o'clock. So I did all the grinding and all the nonsense. I told you for the exhaust I was shooting for around 8 to 9 degrees of difference. I was shooting for 8 to 9 degrees of change in the exhaust. My new duration, or my new open, is at 93. It opened at 104 with the stock. It's now opening at 93. Stock was 257. It closed. It now closes at 268. The duration was 153. Yeah, there we go. Bye-bye. Gotta charge that. So the duration was 153. The new duration for the exhaust is 175. that should be spot on for the number that I was looking for. Now, mind you, I've never run a G5 cylinder, or whatever this one is. I think it's a G5. I've never run one like this before, this style cylinder. I really like this cylinder, I'm going to be honest. Just the overall everything with it. I just like the layout of it and stuff. I'm really expecting good things out of it. Okay, so 175 for the exhaust duration. That's like dead on the money. The transfers, I didn't change them. All I did was clean them up. I'll show you in a second. There's big difference. The duration is still 129. That's stock. It opens at 116 in case you don't remember. So 129 degrees of duration. That's about perfect. They open up almost all the way. Because of the way this cylinder was set up, I can't do a spacer on it. It would literally serve no purpose except ruining the motor. Okay, intake. It opened at 57 degrees before top dead center. It now opens at 63 degrees before top dead center. That is a difference of, what is it a difference of? 7. Yeah, 7, right? No, 6, sorry. That's a difference of 6 degrees. I said I was shooting for around 7 to 8. I hit 6. By the time I got done measuring everything out, I didn't want to go any bigger, so I went with that. 6 though, it turns out, you'll see, is about perfect. It closed at 59 degrees after top dead. It now closes at 65 degrees after top dead. So 63 open, 65 close, 128 degrees of duration. It was 116 degrees of duration. So now we're 128 degrees of duration. That's freaking perfect. Blowdown, stock, was 12 degrees of blowdown. Now we have 23 degrees of blowdown. That's perfect. I'm going to be honest, guys. Cylinder was so easy to port. Like, this is by far the cylinder I'm going to recommend to everyone to do. Because the G4, it wasn't hard to do and wasn't really hard to get power out of. And I didn't even get power out of this yet. I don't even know if it's going to make any power. I haven't put it on. I just know what it was before I did anything. And it was torquey little girl, but it didn't have any guts. Like, you know, top end or nothing. But these are numbers that I'm always trying to shoot for. But usually the stock numbers are too far off with something and I can't get there. This 175 duration exhaust, 129 duration in transfers, 128 duration intake, 23 blow. They're like all perfect numbers. Allow me to show you what I did. Okay, that is the exhaust. Can you see it? I hope you can. That's the exhaust port. Let me put you some light this way. See if that helps. Now, as you can see, the bottom still has some dark lines. I only cleaned the bottom up because, as you know, I ran this cylinder, so I don't want to like actually grind it away, but the top I 220'd it and all that. I also decked it. The squish is probably going to be closer to 1 millimeter. I didn't check the squish yet, but I did deck it almost all the way down to the line that was on there. But I also decked the head, so I think we'll be okay. The intake, as you can see, the top is so-so. Now let me show you the transfers. You're not gonna be able to see the transfers, not properly at least. I showed you before, so I'm really hoping you got that. That came out good because nothing really different. All in all, guys, I'm super happy with this. I'm buttoning it all up. I'm just putting it all together and I'll put the gaskets and everything on it so I can get ready to try to bolt it on maybe tomorrow and take it for a spin, as long as it's not raining after our visits. But I mean, guys, all in all, I am really ecstatic and excited to try this out. In fact, I might even throw my MZ65 on it just for fun. And if it runs really nice and is a lot of fun, I might just throw it on my bike just for fun to enjoy myself and probably rip it and break it because that's what I'm good at. I'm about to take and go outside and put this motor on the mule. Ran across a problem. I forgot to tighten up the preload on the clutch. So I'm going to rip the clutch out really quick. Tighten it down, no ugga-duggas. Just go till it stops and then just do a little snug turn. It's only on thin, mild steel. It will strip it, no problem. And if it doesn't strip out your clutch plate, it will strip out the nut. And that's not something you want to be doing or playing with when you want to be outside ripping it up with your friends. Or in my case, by yourself, because nobody likes you.
I like you.
Heather is a liar.
You don't need to tell them.
Well, I think I need to be honest with my friends. Like, if I can't be honest with them, who can I be honest with?
True.
Right. Can't be honest with you.
Nope.
It just sounds ridiculous.
I don't want to hear it.
Right. We might be married, but we don't like each other. That's a
Nope.
totally different thing.
Right. That's a stretch.
Marriage and love do not go together. Marriage and realism goes together.
Right.
Love and suckers goes together. We're realists. Okay, that's all tight. This is all tight. Clutch armor straight. We got a little more preload on our clutch. We're gonna have no issues now. Good deal, guys? All right, and that's it. Not only that, but we are also ready to go outside and put it on a bike. How excited are you guys? We're really excited! Yay! Oh, guys, that's... I'm glad you guys are so excited. I'm really excited too. I am outside, and we are getting ready to put the 80cc Zeda 80 porting motor to show everybody how easy it is to get real performance out of your motor for basically nothing. I'm gonna pop this off, I'm gonna pop that on, and we're gonna take it for a ride and see what happens. I'm excited. Guys, I kid you not, I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. I was just looking over the bike, saying, okay, I'm done, everything is together. It's about, I don't know, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at most since the last video I was just shooting, saying what I'm about to do. And I kid you not, I was about to take the bike away from its spot and say, let's go. And look what I'm putting on the bike.
Man, I'm pretty.